look into your crystal ball. What is happening in the cybersecurity space, internationally, nationally, locally, business-wise, that maybe isn't getting a lot of press today, maybe hasn't been talked about a lot, but you have that sixth sense, being in this business for a long time, that it's going to be a topic of the future?
The things that we're doing right, we're doing very well. The thing that is not going well is that there's still too many businesses put their head in the sand. It's not going to happen to me, and it is quite ridiculous, given the level of threat, how many organisations are still in that place. We ran across an organisation the other day that somebody lost their laptop and lost all their accounts, hadn't even backed up their laptop. It's a very small organisation, no names, no petrol. That you almost shouldn't be allowed to be in business if that is the state. And in that particular case, it was a failure of the computer. So they lost the data. You're not even allowed to do that in GDPR, because if you lose the data, you might not be able to deliver the service you've contracted. So you're vulnerable there. So, and because there's amazing technology out there just waiting to be turned on, it is perfectly possible for any organization to start up a business and make themselves reasonably secure. Get that 4-foot wall round the house. Make sure their protection is better than anybody else's, so they're protecting their business because they're less attractive to go and attack. So we've also got the quantum computing stuff. So with quantum computing, the threat is that all that data all those petabytes of data being stored all around the place, that is completely encrypted and you can never decrypt in 28 million years. All of a sudden, quantum computing is going to suddenly come along and brute force attack all the data that governments have been protecting themselves, and all of a sudden they find all their secrets are exposed. Is that really going to happen? I'm not sure, but it's a material threat, I think. So the actual really interesting one is ChatGPT and all the things that come from the AI space. Now, I did my first AI project in 1983. Very, very interesting. I was a Prolog programmer for about a year. And Prolog was fascinating because you can't test it, because with Prolog, data and program are the same. And so the program can change itself. So how do you ever test that? So how do you ever make it safe? Really interesting. Let me stop there. However, so there's artificial intelligence has been around for a long time. A few years ago, we had what IBM's Watson and Deep Blue, and being able to be the best chess player in the world and all that sort of stuff. But it never became commodity. And so you had to be a nation state to go and acquire the size of computer that you needed to acquire to do that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden now, was it November? Since November, we've suddenly got ChatGPT, and it is amazing. So I haven't asked the question. What's the most effective cybersecurity attack I could perform on somebody? Because Google is probably in the same sense that can they track my query the same way you can track Google queries? Not exactly a sensible thing to do, but what is ChatGPT going to be able to do in those terms, and commoditize the ability to do cybersecurity attacks? Just doesn't bear thinking about. So I think that issue about AI is a really worrying one, and therefore the letter written by the great heads of our industry a week or two ago is a very moot point for discussion. then the other part of it is actually identity. Um, if how do we? Why should somebody have the right to do something anonymously on the internet that they can't do standing up in the street? And so I am a buyer of privacy only goes so far. Um, but that's not the general. That's not how most people and many young people feel. It's their problem to solve, I'm afraid. But with anonymity gives you the opportunity to do awful things and not be found, not be caught. So why should you have the right to do that? I don't understand it, but there we go.